based on the teachings, which are practically, practical. That means these are the basic teachings, or the introducing Buddhism to people to practice. Because without cultivating the basis, we may not be able to understand Buddhism, because we have to train our mind to see this world in a different way. So therefore, we have to practice the right perceptions to correct, to remove, replace our wrong perceptions regarding this world. So that is one of the most important aspects, because Buddha say people always see this world upside down. That means not the reality. That is the way how this mind works. That's why when we learn Paticca Samuppada, the dependent origination, it starts from avijja. So all others are behind that. Avijja is the root cause of functioning the whole thing. So avijja pacca sankara, sankara pacca vijnana. If we are conscious regarding any object, avijja is the root cause. So we have to understand these things. We have to keep in mind, because that's why these choices arise in our mind, because the feeling, how you feel, that depends on the feeling, the choices arise. This is good, this is bad. We differentiate based on our feeling. So this feeling is always conditioned by your consciousness or the previous contact consciousness. All this dependent origination, you go back to the root. So then you understand the root cause is avijja. So the whole functionality based on avijja. That's why Lord Buddha say this notion of I, me, myself is the thing that you have to let go. You have to understand this I, me, myself arise all our feelings, perceptions, volitions, regarding feelings, perceptions, and volitions. But it is not actually based on I, me, myself, based on the causes and conditions. The karma is one of the important causes and conditions. Karma means your past intentions, past choices are one of the most important reasons to function the present moment consciousness. So that's why the feeling always conditioned by your past way of dealing things and past practices or past choices. So this background is important. This way of seeing this world is important to understand Buddha's teachings and practices. So that's why Lord Buddha always emphasizes this the uncertainty or impermanence, this anicchata, dukkhata, the suffering or the unhappiness, discontent, this kind of things always associate with this conscious process. Sooner or later, it will come to you, because all forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses we are dealing with are impermanent. And those things are, because these things are impermanent, suffering always associate with this conscious process. So therefore, you should think that if these things are I, me, myself, these things should be according to our wish. Those things are not stay according to our wish, or they survive according to our wish. These things always change to different other states. Even your mind, your choices are not permanent, change. So that's why Lord Buddha emphasized this factor to keep in mind. This is the truth. This is the reality. It is not a fault with you. It is common for all living beings. So then you see all our bodies and minds function based on causes and conditions, not because I, me, myself. So all our choices, all our actions, verbal actions, bodily actions, everything based on causes and conditions, not because I, me, myself. Our choices change, then our way of seeing things change, way of dealing with things change. All the things are continuously changing. So then, so Buddhism always, Buddha's teachings always inclined to liberate our mind from all these conscious process, step by step. For a human, this body and mind built to deal with the five sense objects. It is the purpose of this human body with five senses, human body with five senses and mind sense. Then the mind always deal with this world through the five senses. That is the world for any living being, any human or animal. So our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, consciousness, always based on the causes and conditions arise at that moment. That means one of the most important thing is which karma is ripening in this present moment. According to that karma, your eye consciousness, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind consciousness works based on the karma ripening in this present moment. You have large number of past karma. Some karma actually generated in this life. Some karma generated in your past lives. Karma means your intentions arose in any past given moment. These are all collecting. That's why the upadana khanda, these are heaps of past choices, past clingings. So it is the way how this body and mind works. No one is doing this. This is a natural phenomenon. So when you take into account this scenario, so then you know there is a big danger to fall into unhappy states of mind or suffering or dissatisfaction. Ultimately, you have to give up all your possessions. Whatever thing you value here, you have to give up and go leave behind once your body decay and go to death. So you can't claim claim your ownership to any possession in this world. Even your education, even your educational certificates, your skills, you have to leave behind here and go. So when you consider all these facts, so your mind inclined to let go things. So all the choices arise because your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind works. Your consciousness is working. When the consciousness is working, contact happens, feelings arise, choices arise. It is a natural phenomena. It is the way how it works. So until otherwise you stop functioning this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind consciousness, all the time choices arise within your system and register in your system. You are cling on to those things. It is a natural phenomenon. It is the way how it works. So only thing, you have to cut off and let go. You have to develop your mind to a state which is not happening the contact. That means the first thing you can stop is eye, ear, nose, tongue, body contacts. So you have to shut down eye, ear, nose, tongue, body consciousness. So Lord Buddha showed us a path to develop the practices to develop your mind to fully turn away from the five senses and keep attention on one object, which related to the fine material realm, not to the five sense world. Because the five sense world means your five senses are working. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, body consciousness is working. So mind always deal with these things. Because the reason is kama tanha. So the craving or wanting to indulge with these five sense objects, that is called kama tanha. So because kama tanha, your mind advert the five senses and take objects from the five senses and deal with the five sense objects. Even though you close your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, your mind always dealing with the previous forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses registered in your stream of consciousness, stream of mind consciousness. So it is the way how it works. So then you have to train your mind to fully turn away from all the five sense world objects by reminding yourself all these objects are impermanent. Therefore, these things leads to suffering. So these things arose within this system because causes and conditions, not because I, me, myself. It is the way how it works. So therefore, in this way, when you take your body and mind in this way, you are not strongly attached to the thoughts come to your mind. So the feelings, perceptions, volitions arise in your mind. You are not take as serious. You can let go easily. If it is not necessary for the time being, for the present moment, some feelings, perceptions, volitions may important for the moment, for the present moment. So then you have to deal with those things, because sometimes when you want to another person or another person want to speak to you, so then you have to deal with those objects, so deal with the feelings, perceptions, volitions accordingly. But you know, these things are always based on causes and conditions in the present moment. These are not I, me, myself. These things always get the support from your past karma or the past intentions, past training, past practices. All these things support in the present moment. So we have to keep in mind this nature. So that's why Lord Buddha said, this is the first practice you have to do. Train your mind to take this world in this way. So then your mind get kind, soft, and gentle to this world. Or all forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses arise within your system. So you are kind, soft, and gentle. You know, all these things leads to suffering. These are, in brief, this is suffering. Arising these things, forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses arising within your system means suffering. Sankittena panchupadanakkhandha dukkha. So then you turn away from these things. You train your mind to turn away from things. You cut down as much as you can. And you keep your mind paying attention to fine material objects or the jhana level. So that means it turn away from the five sense objects. That is called you are turn away from the kama chanda. Kama, the desire to indulge with the five sense world objects. You cut off it. So first hindrance, you are inclined to remove the first hindrance. You turn away from the five senses. So that is what people are doing when they are practicing satipatthana. First thing, the samma vayama. When you are practicing samma vayama, you remind yourself these truths related to this body and mind, and you get the courage to fully cut off these five sense objects and bring attention to the stillness. So still objects or one object. So the like breath object in Anapanasati meditation, that is also practicing Satipatthana. Bring mind to one still object and turn away from all five sense objects. So you train your mind to turn away from the five senses or the five sense objects, or the not to indulge in any sort of the five sense objects. That means even the thoughts related to the five senses. You turn away from things and you train your mind to enjoy the fine material objects. So once you develop mind in this way, your mind come to a state, is stable with the fine material objects, and you are fully turned away from the five senses. That is called, we are attaining jhanas. So when you come to jhana states and once mind come back to the five senses, you can differentiate how suffering arises and how suffering ceases. These things you can directly experience within your body and mind. So then you know how to end the suffering. So then still your mind come back to your five sense body because the underlying tendencies or the craving, the kama tanha. So you have to cut off and end the kama tanha. It will automatically happen once you go in between these two states. So that's what Lord Buddha explained in Sapta Bojjhanga. When a person practicing 7 enlightenment factors, so they go up and down in these two states and clearly differentiate, clearly understanding Adinava Aswada Nissarana. It is a practical thing for them. So then that is the reason to end the kama tanha. So such a person never, when they go to their body, human body go to death, they never come back to the five sense world. So they go and reborn in a jhana realm. Not only that, because they take these objects as impermanent, suffering and not self, so whatever thing they experience in those states also, they take in the same way and they attain the full cessation, Sanyavedita Nirodha. So then they cut off the craving. So then they understand the truths related to the fine material realms and immaterial realms. Fine material experiences and immaterial experiences. Ruparaga, Aruparaga, then fade away and finish. Because seeing the truth, seeing the reality, when you develop the mind to those states, they can directly experience the realities, truths. So then automatically the craving to those states get fade away and disappear. So that is how it works. So Lord Buddha say, for starting this, I will read this sutta. Because the Buddha's teaching is important. So people have saddha to these teachings. So I will read. So I am reading Samyukta Nikaya, Salayatana Vagga Samyutta, Salayatana Samyutta, Tatiya Pannasaka, Navapurana Vagga, Nibbana Sappaya Patipada Sutta. I am reading Ajahn Sujato's translation. These are linked discourses 35.150. Practice conducive to extinguishment. Mendicants, I will teach you a practice that conducive to extinguishment. Listen and apply your mind. Well, I'll speak. And what is the practice that conducive to extinguishment? What do you think, mendicants? Is the I permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, sir. But if it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Suffering, sir. But if it is impermanent, suffering and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this is myself. No, sir. Are sights permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, sir. But if it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Suffering, sir. But if it is impermanent, suffering and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this is myself. No, sir. Is I consciousness permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, sir. But if it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Suffering, sir. But if it is impermanent, suffering, and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this is myself. No, sir. Is the eye contact permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, sir. But if it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Suffering, sir. But if it is impermanent, suffering, and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this is myself. No, sir. So, the pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by eye contact, is that permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, sir. But if it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Suffering, sir. But if it is impermanent, suffering, and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this is myself. No, sir. Seeing this, a learned, noble disciple grows disillusioned, gives up, and turns away. With the eye sights, eye consciousness, and eye contact, and they grow disillusioned with the painful, pleasant, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by eye contact. So, then you have to understand this. The Lord Buddha take the uh, here. So the Lord Buddha say they take here the eye, sights, eye consciousness, eye contact, and the feeling that arises conditioned by eye contact. So all these things Lord Buddha take into account, and the Lord Buddha tell us to pay attention. These things are impermanent stuff. So these are impermanence is one translation, but the anicca is mostly uncertain. Impermanence is a part of that. Uncertainty, unreliability is the good translation for the anicca. Anicca means uncertain. So these are highly uncertain. You can't rely on your eye, because eye always depends on the eye consciousness arise in any given moment. When you look at things, whatever thing you see, always based on the I consciousness arises in that moment. There is no fixed I consciousness with you. That I consciousness, any given moment, always got the support from your karma ripening at that moment. So that's why it is highly unreliable. Your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, consciousness. So that's why Lord Buddha say, these are not yours. This is a natural phenomena. There is a danger to fall into suffering all the time. So that's why to extinguish suffering, you have to turn away from these things. You have to train your mind to shut down these things. And then you understand why suffering arises, how suffering ceases. So in this way, you have to see this world in this way, because you have to train your mind to take your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind in this way. So then your mind start growing disillusion. So in Pali they say evam passam bhikkhave sutava arya savako chakkusmimbi nibbindati rupesupi nibbindati chakku viññānepi nibbindati chakku sampassepi nibbindati yampidam chakku sampassa pacca uppajjati vedetam sukham va dukkam va adukkam asukam va tasmimpi nibbindati. So Nibbindang, later Buddha say, Nibbindang virajyati viraga vimuchyati vimuttasming vimuttamiti jnana hoti. This Nibbida arises when you are practicing the right view, when you are practicing in this way. Because when you first come to this practice, naturally your mind go back to your old practices, and you take this world as I, me, myself, you take these things as permanent. You are not thinking as permanent, but your consciousness always take things as permanent. That is the way how it works. So that's why you have to remind yourself all the time, remind all the time, these are all impermanent stuff. These are all uncertain. These are all leads to suffering. All forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses leads to suffering. You have to remind yourself, because consciousness is always deluded and take objects in the other way. So take as permanent, take as sukha, take there's happiness, and take as I, me, myself. It is a part of your consciousness. That's why you have to remind yourself and train your mind to not to take in that way, take all the things as impermanent, suffering, and not self. So that's why Lord Buddha say you have to practice these things. Without practicing, you never achieve to this the release of you never directly experience the liberation within yourself, or release your mind from strongly attaching to any object. Because Buddha say, when you are practicing in this way, the abhijja domanasa get diminished. The strong greed and unhappiness gradually diminish and fade away. So then you can directly experience, you are always contented person. You don't have high hopes in this world. And you don't have strong greed to anything. And therefore you are almost contented in all the time. You are happy whatever thing you get. You are not strongly attached to objects. These things you can directly experience when you are practicing these basic things. So take all the objects as uncertain, impermanent, and leads to suffering. And all forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses arise within you. Whatever thing you say as you, is not exist. These are not I, me, myself. These are not yours. These all are the products of natural phenomena. So we have to take in this way. So then Lord Buddha continue in, I will read this sutta a little further. So the pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by eye contact, is that permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, sir. But if it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Suffering, sir. But if it is impermanent, suffering, and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine. I am this. This is myself. No, sir. Seeing this, a learned, noble disciple grows disillusioned. Disillusion means gives up and turns away from those objects. You are not seriously take these things. You use these things if it is necessary for the time being. Otherwise, you know these things, whatever thing arise within you will change sooner or later. Seeing this, a learned, noble disciple grows disillusioned with the eye, sights, eye consciousness, and eye contact, and they grow disillusioned with the painful, pleasant, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by eye contact. Then Lord Buddha continue asking the similar questions. Are the ear, sounds, ear consciousness, ear contact, the pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by ear contact, is permanent or impermanent? If it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? If it is impermanent, suffering, and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this, this is myself. No. Seeing this, a learned, noble disciple grows disillusioned with the ear, sounds, ear consciousness, ear contact, and they grow disillusioned with the painful, pleasant, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by ear contact. Then go to the nose. Are the nose smells, nose consciousness, nose contact, the pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by nose contact, is that permanent or impermanent? If it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? If it is impermanent, suffering, and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this, this is myself. No. So you have to question within your body and mind. You have to ask this question within you. And then you see, none of these things you can take as yours. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, you can't take as yours. It is a natural phenomenon. It always based on causes and conditions at any given moment. So not because you. Seeing this, a learned, noble disciple grows disillusioned with nose, smells, nose consciousness, nose contact, and they grow disillusioned with the pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by nose contact. Because this feeling generates the present moment karma. Whatever feeling arises within you, if you are not ready to let go, if you are not ready to turn away from these things, automatically the volitions arise, your intentions arise to do things, the choices arise and register in your stream of consciousness, stream in mind, and in future actions are arise based on this reality, because your karma, they start ripening in future moments, whatever karma arise in this moment. So that is the way how it works. So in the same way, Buddha ask the question regarding the tongue, tastes, tongue consciousness, tongue contact, the pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by tongue contact, is that permanent or impermanent? If it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? If it is impermanent, suffering, and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this is myself. No. Seeing this, a learned, noble disciple grows disillusioned with the tongue, taste, tongue consciousness, tongue contact, and they grow disillusioned with the pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by tongue contact. Are the body, then Lord Buddha go to the body. Are the body touches, body consciousness, body contact, the pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by body contact, is that permanent or impermanent? If it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? If it is impermanent, suffering, and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this is myself. No. Seeing this, a learned, noble disciple grows disillusioned. Gross disillusion means give up and turns away from those objects. They practice in that way, Nibbana. Just turn away from these things. You are not take those things as serious. With the body touches, body consciousness, body contact, and they grow disillusioned with the pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by the body contact. Then go to the mind. Are the mind, thoughts, mind consciousness, mind contact, is that permanent or impermanent? If it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? If it is impermanent, suffering, and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this is myself. No. The pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by mind contact, is that permanent or impermanent? Impermanent. But if it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Suffering, sir. But if it is impermanent, suffering, and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this is myself. No, sir. Seeing this, a learned, noble disciple grows disillusioned with the mind, thoughts, mind consciousness, mind contact, and they grow disillusioned with the pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling that arises conditioned by mind contact. So when you come to the mind contact, all the things are supported by the mind contact. Without mind contact, so you don't take the mind, these feelings, perceptions, volitions arise. So the mind contact, once you come to the mind contact, that is the most behind, the one which acts behind to other senses. So that's why it is the most fundamental root part. So when you start giving up, the forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions arise in your mind contact, conditioned by the mind contact, or the mind thoughts, mind consciousness, mind contact, and you grow disillusion on these things, you turn away from the whole world. When you turn away from the five sense world, means their mind contact, and the all feelings, perceptions, volitions arise based on mind contact, means you are giving up the mind contact, and you are inclined to the full cessation. You are not value all feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses based on the mind. So they grow disillusion. So being disillusioned, giving up, desire fades away. When desire fades away, they are freed. They understand there is no return to any state of existence. First, actually, when the people practice, they turn away from the five senses and they understand the five sense world. And then the Kamaraga Patiga, So the fetters, which are the higher level fetters, belongs to the uh, belongs to the Orambagya Sangyojana. That means these are the fetters in the belongs to this five sense world. So first, yeah. So these are the fetters, the final fetters related to the five sense world, this karma world. So they get diminished and fade away and disappear. The craving, wanting, the desire. Because understanding the reality, you understand the reality once the mind developed to the jhana states. Then you experience the full extinguishment of the five senses and five sense consciousnesses, five sense forms, feelings, perceptions, and consciousnesses fully extinguish when mind developed to the jhana states. So that's why Lord Buddha showed us a path to develop mind to the jhana states. That is Noble Eightfold Path. Noble Eightfold Path culminates in jhanas. That is the final factor of the Noble Eightfold Path. So once you develop mind to that state, you can directly experience the liberation from suffering. And you again experience suffering when mind come back to the five sense world. So you clearly understand, and no more craving rest in your mind or reside in your mind when you directly experience this reality within your body and mind. So that's why Lord Buddha say, we have to practice the path. Without practicing path, you never come to this wisdom. This wisdom arises once you practice the path. So that's why Lord Buddha say, in many other sutras, Lord Buddha say this development based on these path factors. And once you attain jhana, then you have the wisdom. Natti jhanang apanyassa panya natti ajaino. Atti jhanancha panyacha save nibbana santiki. So when a person attain jhanas, they have wisdom, and they get the wisdom, and they are close to nibbana. Because when a person attains jhana, so they directly experience full extinguishment of suffering, but mind never stay in that jhana states, because still you have the vested interest or craving to the five sense enjoyment. So that's why mind come back to the five senses. So once you go up and down, you clearly understand this is just suffering, only suffering. So then all the craving regarding five sense world get diminished and fade away. So then you give up the five sense world. So in this way, they understand there is no return to any state of existence. Means once you develop mind to the full extinguishment, that means if the sanya vedita nirodha, so the craving to all existences get diminished, fade away, and disappear. So that's what Lord Buddha said. This is the practice that conducive to extinguishment. So this is the sutta. So this is a short sutta come in Samyutta Nikaya. So this is the way how Buddha teach the Dhamma. So this is the most important practice that normal human can understand. So train their mind to see the Four Noble Truths. I will read another sutta. That one clearly say, you'll see the Four Noble Truths once you practice the Dhamma in the right way. So I will read one more sutta. So these are inspire people to come to the right practice. So this is also Ajahn Sujato's translation. This is Samyukta Nikaya, Khandavagga Samyutta, Ditti Samyutta, Sotapatti Vagga. Etam mama Etam mama sutta. So this is the translation, Ajahn Sujato's translation. Link Discourses 24.2. Stream entry. That is Sotapatti Vagga. The name of the sutta is This is Mine. Savatti Nidanam, at Savatti. Mendicants. When what exists, because of grasping what and insist on what, does the view arise, this is mine, I am this is myself. Lord Buddha asked from the monks, when what exists, because of grasping what and insisting on what, does the view arise, this is mine, I am this is myself. So then the monk says, our teachings are rooted in the Buddha. Then Buddha speaks. When the form exists, because of grasping form or clinging form and insisting on form, the view arises, this is mine, I am this is myself. When feeling exists, because of grasping, clinging, feeling, and insisting or adhering on feeling, the view arises, this is mine, I am this is myself. When perception exists, because of grasping perception and insisting on perception, the view arises, this is mine, I am this is myself. When choices exist, because of grasping choices and insisting on choices, the view arises, this is mine, I am this is myself. When consciousness exists, because of grasping consciousness and insisting on consciousness, this view arises, this is mine, I am this is myself. So you have to, this is the important thing to take into account how Lord Buddha showed these things. First thing is the form. When the mind contact any form, all feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses are there. So first you have to turn away from the form. So then feelings, perceptions, volitions, consciousnesses. Once you turn away from the consciousness, then the consciousness is, that means the five sense world consciousness is turn away. Your mind turn away from the five senses. So the five sense consciousness don't arise temporarily. So then the mind only pay attention to the fine material world, or the mind consciousness only advert the fine material objects, not the five sense world objects. Then the mind is not there. There is no consciousness arise, because that's why Lord Buddha say, when the internal faculties and external faculties exist, then the Vijnanakaya arise. Vijnanakaya means consciousness arise when external and internal faculties arise. That means when I and sights exist, the I consciousness arise. Then the contact happen. Then the feelings, perceptions, volitions arise. This is the way how it works. So then when you start turning away from the forms, then you turn away from the feelings and all the products come through these things, and then you turn away for the whole consciousness. Then you develop mind to the full extinguishment. So because this wrong view arises, because it is a part of your consciousness. Wrong view is a part of your consciousness. When feelings exist, that view is exist. So you have mindfully cut off and let go. That's why the third noble truth is releasing your mind from the five sense world, because you have to remind yourself and turn away from these things and develop your mind to cut off and let go. Chago, patinissaggo, mutti analayo. You have to give up. Patinissagga. Throw away things. Because mind automatically attach and keep in your mind and remind yourself all these things. You have to cut off and release your mind. That is the meaning of patinissagga. Chago, patinissaggo, mutti analayo. That is the third noble truth. The Nirodha Satya. You have to develop the Nirodha. You have to Satchikatabantime. You have to develop Nirodha within your body and mind. So then you directly experience these things. So then you get this illusion. There is a Nirodha. So that's why, so we have to understand automatically this I, me, myself is a part of our consciousness. So that's why we have to mindfully turn away from this conscious process. When in the same way, the Buddha say, when the consciousness exists, because of grasping consciousness and insisting on consciousness, the view arises. This is mine. I am this. This is myself. What do you think, mendicants? Is form permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, sir. But if it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Suffering, sir. But if it is impermanent, suffering and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine. I am this. This is myself. No, sir. Is feeling permanent or impermanent? Same questionnaire. Lord Buddha asked for the feelings, perceptions, choices, consciousnesses. Same questionnaire. The consciousness permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, sir. If it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Suffering, sir. But if it is impermanent, suffering and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine. I am this. This is myself. No, sir. But when not grasping, then Lord Buddha come to the opposite side. So then Lord Buddha talk about not grasping things. But when not grasping, but impermanent, suffering and perishable, would the view arise? This is mine. I am this. This is myself. No, sir. That which is seen, heard, thought, known, attained, sought, and explored by the mind, is that permanent or impermanent? So then Lord Buddha summarize all your eye and Ostang body, mind functionality, summarize in this passage. That which is seen, heard, thought, known, attained, sought, and explored by the mind, is that permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, sir. But if it is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Suffering, sir. But by not grasping what is impermanent, suffering, and perishable, would the view arise? This is mine. I am this. This is myself. No, sir. When the noble disciple has given up doubt on these 6 cases, that is the most important. When a noble disciple has given up doubt in these 6 cases, what are the 6 cases? Seen, heard, thought, known, attained, sought, explored by the mind. These are the 6 cases. When the noble disciple has given up doubt in these 6 cases, has given up doubt in suffering. Because no, this is the way how our consciousness works, our body and mind works, that leads to suffering. This is not I, me, myself. Once you given up doubt in these 6 cases, has given up doubt in suffering, its origin, its cessation, and the practice that leads to the cessation. This is 4 noble truths. So the doubt regarding 4 noble truths, they given up. So this is the way how it works. This is the way how a person come to that understanding. Not doing big things. So just first thing is, you should have the faith and confidence to these teachings and take into your practice in your day-to-day life. Then you start directly experiencing this contentment, happiness arise within you. So then you are getting more confident about what you are practicing. Then your faith and confidence start growing within yourself. So then you are no more deluded. You know why Lord Buddha say the suffering is a noble truth. It is a noble truth of suffering. It is a noble truth. Why Lord Buddha say this? What is the cause of suffering? The root of the origin of suffering. Which is what are the causes and conditions? The root cause of suffering. Because this is a delusion. Because deluded, this our faculty, the system generates feelings and craving. It is a part of system. It is not someone else's fault. So when you take your body and mind in this way, you know, you have to be mindfully turn away from this conscious process, or cut off and let go all your choices, wantings, until otherwise those things are necessary for the time being. Otherwise, you can cut off and let go and train your mind to fully turn away from these things. Then you start cutting down all your associations with this five sense world, and you train your mind to turn away from the five sense world objects. So Lord Buddha says, when a noble disciple has given up doubt in these 6 cases and has given up doubt in suffering, it is its origin, its cessation, and the practice that leads to the cessation. They are called a noble disciple who is a stream enterer, not liable to be reborn in the underworld, bound for awakening. They are called a noble disciple who is a stream enterer, not liable to be reborn in the underworld, bound for awakening. So that is the sutta. In Pali, this one say, Yatoko bhikkave arya savakassa imesu cha thanesu kanka pahina hoti. Dukkhe pissa kanka pahina hoti. Dukkha dukkha samudaya pissa kanka pahina hoti. Dukkha Nirode pissa kanka pahina hoti. Dukkha nirodha gaminiya patipadaya pissa kanka pahina hoti. Ayam vuchyati bhikkave arya savako sotapanno avinipata dhammo niyato sambodhi parayanoti. This is the way how Buddha teach Dhamma. So what you have to do from today to take into practice these perceptions. Then you change the way you deal with this world. You change the way, first thing in the Vipallasa Sutta, Buddha explained these things. Once you correct the Sanya Vipallasa, the perception, the perversion of the perceptions, you change, you correct these things, then your Chitta Vipallasa corrected. That means your mind come to the right mindset. That means Yoniso Manasikara arise within you. Then Ditti Vipallasa get corrected. That means the perversion of the view get corrected. Then you get the right view. What do you mean by the right view? Right view means Four Noble Truths. You get the right understanding regarding this world. This is the noble truth of suffering, noble truth of the cause of suffering, noble truth of the cessation of suffering, noble truth to the path to the cessation of suffering. You understand these Four Noble Truths. So this is the way how we should practice. So if you have any questions now, you can ask.